702.
World of Work.
Right, on our World of Work feature, how have you decided to leave your work? And have you decided to leave your work? Have you given thought to how you want to do it, when you want to do it, and why do you want to do it? Are you thinking of changing your job or perhaps changing your profession because maybe you're getting bored? Maybe you are looking for better opportunities. Because I know change can really be scary for a lot of people, but sometimes it is necessary. You might find the change that you are afraid of to really be what you need for you to have a fulfilling career. So please share your thoughts with us on 011-883-0702. The WhatsApp line is 072-702-1702. We have Professor Kobus Oosthuizen, who is a Dean Postgraduate Studies at Boston campus, joining us on the line, who's going to guide us through this conversation. Prof, thank you so much for making time for us. Good morning.
Hello, Clement. Wonderful to have this opportunity with you. And as you said, 11-11, a beautiful double up for this discussion. Thanks so much.
So I want us to start off with, in your experience, from what you've observed or perhaps even researched, what are some of the reasons why people choose to leave their jobs or even their profession, especially their profession when they want to really try something new or just try a different industry?
Yeah. Kevin, that's thank you for the question. And I think, many of the listeners, maybe all of them, and even myself, have been at this point somewhere in our lives, or maybe at multiple times. But, we often think of our career path that should be linear. But, of course, the reality is careers today are increasingly dynamic and agile. As they say, seasons come and seasons go. And sometimes seasons are not only forced upon you, but sometimes seasons become even unbearable, and it's time for a change. But I think key signs that it might be time to pivot could include, consistently feeling drained or uninspired, having reached your growth plateau in the particular organization, or that promotional opportunities are lacking, or even noticing your skills aren't fully utilized or appreciated. When your daily work lacks meaning, and I think you referred to the word as well, lacks meaning, or it doesn't align with your values and passions. Now, those are all strong indicators that it might be time to reassess your direction and reorientate towards something that would be more fulfilling, more rewarding, and aligned with your passions, your values, etc.
Yeah. And what are some of those important questions that I should be asking myself if I'm thinking of changing my job or changing my career? My profession.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, Clement, I think, facing these crossroads, obviously, professionally can feel daunting. But I think it's also an excellent opportunity, and it may be an exciting opportunity. And the most powerful step, I think, to start with is that self-assessment, self-evaluation, self-reflection, whatever you want to call it. But asking yourself, what energizes you? Reflecting deeply on your skills, your strengths, and your passions. And then, along with that, evaluating the possible gaps that you need to close. And then from there, one can, extend into what I believe is extremely important, extremely valuable, networking. And there are professional platforms that, in my own experience, I've utilized to great success. But networking, reaching out to trusted mentors who can also provide valuable perspectives, and equally important, is upskilling through perhaps targeted education, which could be a very powerful accelerator. Perhaps enrolling in, structured postgraduate education, such as an MBA, which I believe can help fast track your pivot by equipping you with new tools, fresh ideas, and of course expanding your professional network. That's a very important one. And instead of sitting and waiting for that seventh wave of success to come up onto the shores, if it is to be, it's up to me. So going out and even trade fairs, or attending these webinars about particular sectors that you might be interested in or want to investigate or look further into. And perhaps just as a margin entry here for the listeners, in September, at the Sandton Convention Center, there's going to be an MBA Expo, and there's going to be LeaderX as well, those kinds of the trade fair, where situations like that extremely valuable, just to go networking and asking questions, talking to people. But those are kind of next steps if one wants to fast forward a change in direction.
Okay, and so for someone maybe who wants to start in a particular field, they want to change industries, is it better to go and get experience in that field first and then consider studying? Or is it better to, take up the opportunity to study and, get a degree maybe, or a diploma, a certificate, whatever it is, in that particular field, and then start looking for entry opportunities?
Yeah, Clement, good question. I'm thinking as you were asking the question is, before I go and run a marathon, I have to actually train, and then to be able to take on the race and finish it successfully. So, from my perspective, in the world of postgraduate studies, I think they offer a structured approach to career reinvention. And of course, options range from specialized short courses, if one really wants to get a handle on a particular skill gap that one might have. And then, of course, postgraduate diplomas, and then moving into advanced degrees like masters or MBAs. And the important thing is, though, that the key is choosing a pathway that aligns with your career aspirations. So, for instance, an MBA is an excellent option because of its versatility, its recognized value, and ability to cultivate broad-based leadership and management and critical thinking skills. So most MBAs, generally speaking, depending on the mode of delivery, but in our own example, catering specifically to working professionals, offering a flexible, practical curriculum that's obviously highly relevant and adaptable to the demands of today's dynamic job market. So Clement, my view would be a good space to start is to get fit or get skilled in the particular direction that you are ambitious to pursue. Yeah,
I want to get in some views from our listeners now. It's 19 minutes after 11 o'clock. You can call on 011-883-0702. Maybe you decided to change careers. How did that go for you? Can you please share that experience with us? There's some of you who went to school and studied something completely different to what you are doing now. How did that one go? When did you know that this is the time to change tack? Or maybe listening to us now, you're one of those that are considering changing a profession and you've been wondering, how do I go about it? 011-883-0702, WhatsApp's on 0727021702. Renee, you calling us from Johannesburg. Good morning.
Morning.
Hi, go ahead.
A bit of a broad question, maybe back to the audience or the prof, if he has some insights, is I'm a project manager, senior project manager, and what I found, it's not just even completely changing your career or industry, but that when you apply to employers, people seem to have a very narrow definition of what, if you apply for X, you need to tick all the boxes for X. For example, project management and IT skills, it's transferable across industries, but people would say they want a project manager who's worked in insurance for 20 years. It makes it very difficult to shift, to get that different perspective, and the reason why sometimes people go for career changes is that you do, feel you're stagnating. And for example, if you work in a telco, I may want to go and work for an insurance firm as a project manager, but it's almost as if, it's very rigid. and that prevents you from making the transition. So, if anybody else has had that struggle, or if there's people in the human resources field perhaps listening, why is it? Is it the challenge between, skills versus competencies, that people don't understand the difference? But I think it's a very broad subject, and very interesting to hear if anybody else has come across the same challenges.
Yeah, thank you for raising that, Renee. Yeah, Prof?
Yeah, Clement, thanks. And Renee, I think what you're experiencing, many people also experience that. And, there's not in my humble view, not a quick silver bullet answer. I intuitively just kind of want to say, keep on keeping on. Don't quit, just keep on pursuing. And sometimes it might take a month, sometimes it could take a year to actually realize that to realize the move into another sector or another industry or whatever it might be. But in that process, and I think you've referred to skills and competencies here, and some jobs are obviously the supply often outstrips the demand. And we find, if you look at the recent World Economic Forum Jobs of the Future listing, and you see the types of skills that are deemed to be in highest demand, and obviously the times that we find ourselves in with AI becoming a buzzword and that everybody talks about. But in that process of attempting to penetrate or to move into a different space, is in that period of time to still continue, and maybe if time allows, to talk about lifelong or continuous learning. There are many of these shorter term interventions where one can also add more to the bag, so to speak, more of these insights or skills and the competencies as Renee has referred to. But it remains a challenging and a daunting task often. But again, and I use these words lightly earlier on. If it is to be, it is up to me, and it is just keep on keeping on, and that networking processes. And I believe that at some point the appropriate door will also open.
And then let's go to these WhatsApps before we go to those questions. 072 702 1702.
Good morning, Clement and team. Kingsley from Germiston. With regards to your work feature, in my own experience, when you wake up in the morning and you can no longer recognize who you are and you feel like you're losing yourself, and when you have to pray for strength and courage to get through the day, and at the end of the day, you give thanks that you survived or made it through the day, then it's time to go. And, one of the critical lessons I learned quite recently is it's always best to see the early warning signs so that you can prepare ahead of time. In other words, looking for a job or making sure that you're financially okay to be able to walk away. Too often we wait until it's too late, and then you either being forced out or you're having to leave when you don't have a plan B, which can be frightening. But that would be my contribution. Kingsley from Germiston.
Hi, Clement. Interesting topic. I studied mining engineering and I've been working at the mines for 20 years. So I feel that I've done my time. So I want to change to something different, but I don't want to lose that experience. So I've enrolled for a Bachelor of Law degree. The plan is to merge the two and, be a lawyer that specializes in mining. I mean, you get that, you represent people in inquiries and so forth. So, I'm excited. I'm doing my second year. So I'm already thinking of branching off, to areas like safety, so that ultimately, I can start my own practice and, start making money.
Yeah, there's an idea, Prof. For some people, you can merge because, that other listener was raising a concern of sometimes they need so much experience, even when you want to join in and start in a new industry and then experience that you may not have in that field. But then it works better this way, I suppose. Well, one of the ways it works better if you just merge them.
Absolutely. I mean, I just want to a shout out to the lady who just called in. It's beautiful to hear these first-hand accounts of people that's pushing the boundaries in their own career trajectories, and crossing from from one sector or industry totally into another one. But that could be so valuable. And remember, every qualification or skill or program that you've done, it forms part of you. It's something that can never be taken away. So her ambitions of becoming a legal counsel in that space, it's wonderful, it's beautiful, and all the best with the remainder of the studies and so forth. But absolutely, you often hear of people that make and let me give you an example. Someone that went from being a medical practitioner, who had a passion for education, who moved into the realm of education and started a business some years ago, which is an educational business which is going very successful. So I think as we've spoken earlier on, it's really to get to know oneself intimately. And one of the earlier listeners also mentioned that not to wait until it's too late, because we also live in times of extreme work burnout, as it's in severe burnout, and when it just culminates and becomes heavy and you're being unhappy, when you're unhappy in your work, you kind of take that with you wherever you go. It kind of manifests in your behaviors and so forth. So really making work of this, and the journey starts with oneself. That reflective place. Use your journal, write down stuff, and in that process, refine those things that really make your heart, that makes your heart pump first, quicker, as they say, that excites you, that you really have passion for, and to pursue that with all you have. And again, I know I'm reiterating this, but it's talk to people. There are also excellent career counselors that one can engage with, networking, talking to people in the industry that you are interested to access. So, but again, it's all going to start with you and not waiting for something to fall from the sky.
Okay. Someone else was asking about the issue of age. When you are over 40, is that something that should concern you if you're thinking about changing your job or your career?
Sure, Clement. I can only speak from my own personal lived life, where I'm now in my journey. Again, and I'm saying this, tongue in cheek. People have heard, age is just a number, and it is. I don't bring the number to my value is not in the number. My value that I contribute to whichever organization is my experience. My life that I have lived and everything that I've culminated over this time. And people will see that. People will notice that. Your attitude. So I personally don't think that age should be any inhibitor of changing direction. There are people that late in their lives, and I yesterday read again a case where somebody that got fired at the age of 40, and from there established a very, very successful organization. No names, no pact rules at this stage, but became a very successful businessman. So often these things are what initially might look like a negative. Rather see the opportunities that are embedded in there. But if it's time, if deep in yourself, you will know it's time to move on. And then it is up to you in terms of the next steps that you are going to take to realize this and making it real.
All right. Professor Kobus Oosthuizen, thank you for making time for us. He's the Dean of Postgraduate Studies at Boston City Campus. I'm going to wrap up with this message from Moise, who says, Clement, I started as a scientist BTech in chemistry. I learned lab-based software systems and ended up in IT for 4 years while studying PGDIP and LLB. I finished LLB last year and I've started as a legal counsel in the same organization that I was in IT, and I started this month. Final year of MBA in 2025. Moyisi, that sounds incredible. All the best.